Hello and welcome to the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. I'm Harriet Frew, eating disorder therapist, here to support you in overcoming disordered eating and finding peace with food. So today I want to talk about photos and having photos taken and when these are really triggering for poor body image and how to manage this. So let's dive in. Now, a bad photo can plunge you quickly into the deepest, darkest well of despicable body image. An unflattering angle might catch you off guard, maybe with slumped shoulders, unappealing side profiles, or simply awkward energy. Now, I found myself incredibly self-conscious of photographed flaws, perceived flaws, maybe including my big smile, my frizzy hair, my pear-shaped body, my wide hips, my deflated balloon stomach after 3 children, and more. And I've never really embraced photo opportunities with relish and enthusiasm. And I'm the pre-phone era where taking photos wasn't so easy. You had to have a camera and remember to take your camera, and it was a bit more of a thing to do. You couldn't just pick up your phone and snap away. Now, one time in my life I had a bit of a different experience was when I travelled in Australia, and I had a bit of brief respite there where the camera was more of my friend. And I'm really thankful actually for taking those photos, because all of those memories I captured in my dusty albums upstairs to create waves of happy nostalgia. And it certainly helped. I was young, wrinkle-free and tanned back then. It was a gap year with little stress and days to fill with fun and frivolity. So in Australia, I had habitually trained myself to get comfortable in front of the camera. I learned how to pose and look a little more natural. And my travelling energy was optimistic and carefree, and the camera reflected this back. Now, sadly, I probably didn't really bring that back to real life. But let's talk about feeling better about photos and having your photo taken. So I'm going to go through 6 different points. So number 1, now I know with so many of my younger clients, but they're just in the habit of taking endless selfies. Being brought up with the phone, it's just a very natural, normal thing to do. But I guess when we take endless selfies, whether we're focusing on our perceived positives or our negatives, it's drawing the attention intensely back to you. And what happens, when we do this is self-evaluation becomes intrinsically connected to your last photo, how you look, and it can be quite a dangerous business because, in fact, what you focus on tends to expand exponentially in your consciousness. So if you're liking your photos, your mood might lift, at least temporarily. But if you don't, it's a slippery slope to body dissatisfaction and self-loathing. And I have clients who will photograph and video themselves numerous times a day to check their body. Now, if you're looking for a bloated stomach and then you're capturing it on camera, it's so hard to win, isn't it? Our human bodies are not kind of perfectly sculpted things. We are humans and we digest food and we, all the things really. It's very, very hard to win. When you look for the evidence of something being wrong, you're likely going to find it. So instead, if you recognize yourself here, aim to reduce some of these unhelpful photo habits, okay? And instead, you can still take photos, but take photos of things that really bring you joy and optimism, things outside in the world. Maybe a beautiful flower or historic site or something else entirely, just something else that, really spikes your interest. And of course, as well, take photos of yourself as you please, because you may be, this may be something that you just enjoy doing, but really think about the frequency and the purpose of each snapshot. If you're using it in a way to berate yourself, to critique your body, that is not helpful. And capture moments in time to reignite joyful memories with friends. Capture yourself maybe in a cute outfit or a moment where you just glow with exuberance, but less photos are probably more. Okay, number 2, recognize as well the limitations of photos. A photograph is a simple snapshot in time. It is not the whole of you, but rather a glimmer. One photo cannot capture your essence and completeness. Just imagine photographing a majestic tree from different angles. One photo might capture its magnificence and splendor. Another photo might show the damaged branches or gnarls and bumps through weathered years. The angle and lighting will influence the outcome too. So work to apply the same understanding to your own photos. Number 3, building self-acceptance and challenging critical thoughts. So zooming in with laser focus to examine your forehead lines or protruding stomach will not bring joy. This distorts your body perception and self-evaluation. Your body is far greater than reductionist critiques of these parts. So notice your critical thoughts. Recognize them, call them out, and say to yourself, I am no longer going to judge. I choose to offer myself acceptance, and repeat this many times. Think of the Taylor Swift documentary on Netflix when she was struggling with body image and everyone commenting about her body. And she talks about, being very drawn back into wanting to change her body, thinking that there's something wrong with her, being so influenced by the awful pressures. And she says, we're not going to do that anymore. So she created a statement in a way to every time she was drawn back in, she could kind of like remind herself of that empowering statement. We're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to go down that road anymore. So you need to find a statement for yourself where you can start to recognize those critical thoughts and then divert them, divert it in a different direction. So begin to offer yourself some compassion and body respect. And accept your difficult feelings and journal on them or talk them out. Deeper feelings, negative feelings around body image usually have roots in something deeper. Focus as well on your whole body and be astounded by its complex physiology and remarkability. Don't just focus in completely on aesthetics and completely judging yourself. And do all the things like practice optimal self-care, appreciate your body, really look after yourself. Again, then a bad photo isn't going to derail you so much because you've got that baseline of deep body respect. Notice your thoughts, words, and actions as well towards your body. Your body deserves respect and kindness, and focus on the parts that you can be more accepting of. Now, I know for me, for my non-body strengths, I would definitely much rather focus on my empathy and warmth than berate myself for my lack of skills in map reading and mathematics, okay? And with my body these days, I tend to focus much more on my eyes, my curls, my arms, over thighs, hips and stomach. This is very helpful for mental well-being, okay? What we focus on expands. It's really helpful, I think, to strive more for body neutrality, but if you are going to notice things about your body, focus on the bits that you can be more accepting of. Okay, number 4, beware of romanticizing old photos on your phone. So take care not to romanticize old photos. It's easy to scroll back wistfully through rose-tinted glasses as you peruse the thinner and polished version of yourself. Now, the human brain tends to idealize and gloss over imperfections. Be realistic and honest. Many of my clients find that engaging honestly with an old photo image brings back feelings of food preoccupation, irritability, and being distracted from the present moment. Even if their initial evaluation of that photo was like, oh my goodness, the golden days of thin. But in reality, it was far from perfection, even if that initial thought was otherwise. Number 5, consider photo techniques. So ask any model or person who is frequently photographed, and you'll realize that a beautiful photo is a skill to master. So you can learn to feel more comfortable and be less camera shy. You can wear clothes that fit well and emphasize your best features. You can choose colors or patterns that suit you. And you can learn to pose and develop more ease in front of the camera. You can stand tall, relax, and angle your body to create a flattering silhouette. You can stand in a flattering light. Now, these are all things within your control. And if you want to, you can learn to do them if you feel inclined to do so. So again, it's realizing in a way that sometimes a bad photo is just because of you are not used to having your photo taken maybe, and you are not used to how to kind of pose and to stand in a more flattering light, etc. But these are all things that we can learn. Okay, and number 6, just some reframes to leave you with. So it's so helpful to engage as well with the reality of bodies in the world. Get off social media with the ongoing consumption of hundreds of ideal images. Go and sit in your local cafe and people watch whilst noticing the variety of bodies passing you by. Now you'll immediately see that not everyone is filtered thin and beautifully turned out like they are on TikTok and Instagram. You will directly experience the diverse range of bodies of all shapes and sizes. Another reframe. In 10 years' time, you will look back at photos of yourself and wonder why you criticised yourself so much today. Now, it's such a common occurrence for a human to vehemently judge a photo, but then later to wonder why they were so harsh. You've probably done that. So many of my clients talk about this. They kind of say, I look back at a photo of myself when I was 20 and I thought that I looked terrible. Actually, I looked great. What was I saying to myself? And another reframe. Think of the larger picture of life. In the unlikely and devastating situation of losing a limb or becoming severely unwell, your body image would become far less important. And you would probably grieve your current body and wonder why you worried so much. But having said all this, be kind to yourself. The culture praises thinness and perfection. It's no surprise that it's hard to find body acceptance. It's no surprise that you might judge yourself harshly in photos because of all of this. But offer yourself compassion and deep acceptance and take a baby step in this direction today. Okay, thank you so much for listening and for being here. If you're not following me already on Instagram, do seek me out, the Eating Disorder Therapist _. For further support with your relationship with food, do go to the eatingdisordertherapist.co.uk. If you enjoy this podcast, I'll be so grateful if you'd follow, rate and review, as it helps it reach so many more listeners. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to sharing another podcast episode with you very soon.